Hello everyone and welcome back to Paper Peony. I'm Kimberly Jones and I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up. Today I have for you an online exclusive bundle called Fluffiest Friends. I'm showing you a step-up version for my basic model here, and in this tutorial I'll be doing the basic, and then the next one you'll see me do the more advanced. But I wanted to show you a step-up version of what we're going to be doing today. So here's the one that we're going to be doing, and I'm going to show you how to mask and how to get a scene without having to color the whole entire background. And then I'm also going to show you how to use our blends to color. So here is the stamp set and the die set that goes with this set. It's extremely cute. It has the beaver, it has a little cute rabbit, it has the honey bear, the kitty cat, and I want to say that that is a guinea pig. And then the dies, you've seen me use this piece here in my Be My Valentine set. I use this, it looks like a hive, but it's actually a window. So I used this in my previous videos, but then it has the honey hive and a branch and some leaves and the grass, some balloons, and then also the cutouts to all your animals. So it's a really cute set, and I'm going to show you in the next couple videos how I'm using this bundle. But this is online exclusive, so if you go down on my link below onto my Stampin' Up website, and then click on online exclusives, when you hit the shop button, then it should take you directly to this one. Or if you want to type in Fluffiest Friends, it should take you directly to this bundle. Okay, also I'll be using on this card, I will be using Oceanfront for my background. And then when as I made my mask for this, I'm using the Stylish Shapes dies to cut out my circle, and I believe I used the biggest circle for this. So all you do is run this circle through with white cardstock, any color actually that you want, and then you have your mask for this project. And then later I'm using the sentiments from Rhino Ready. It's also an online exclusive, so if you want to get both, then you'll find them both in the online exclusive. And I'm using You're Stronger Than You Think saying on this card, and then in the couple of the next ones that I'm going to be using, I'm using the other sayings as well. So okay, so let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to bring in my mat so I don't get ink on my table. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mask my cardstock. Let me find the cardstock I'm using. Okay. And what I did is I just pretty much went center, or kind of center, on this piece of paper. Now this is I want to say it is a 4, let's see, let me measure this real quick. This top piece is going to be a 4 by 5, if you want it to be exactly like mine. Okay, and then I'm using these little Post-it tape, and I'm just going to tear off pieces and tape this down so as I sponge my background or stamp my background, it's not moving on me. So I'm just going to position this where it's not going to move, like so. And then I used boho blue, and I can also use the balmy blue as well to give me a two-tone. So let me get my Oceanfront out. Okay. Let me get a bigger block. Sorry. Okay, a bigger block. Okay. Now, when I did this project, I stamped it, then misted it to give it kind of like a water drop effect. If if you can see that right there. But what I'm going to do this time is, after I have put this in the boho blue ink, I'm going to take a water spritzer, and I'm just going to kind of spritz away just a little bit, and you can see how it's giving me those water droplet effects. So then I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to stamp this right in the center and lift up, and see, you can see that gradation of color right there, which is really cool. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in a little bit of a lighter color, and using a sponge, these are our blending brushes. They come in a 3-pack. I'm just coming into this ink and doing a circular pattern to get the ink absorbed into the brush. Then I'm going to come in and I am just going to color this all the way around. And you can always go to the edge and stamp all the way across. You can do that, but I kind of wanted it to go kind of like a, you know, like when you're looking down in the sunset, kind of, the water's kind of a two-tone effect. It looks like a path. That's kind of what I wanted to go with this. But you can go further out. You could re-stamp it here if you wanted to. Okay, so there is my water. This may be a little lighter than my original, but that's okay. It's been a while since I've done this card. So, okay, so now I'm going to take the grass, and I used, on this one particular, I used this little grass right here, and let me go ahead and get the sand one out too, because I'm going to need that one later. Okay, I'll put the sand on this one, on this block, and the grass on this one. Okay, so then what I did is I took my lemon lime twist and did the same thing with a sponge. I kind of went up a little bit, or down right at the base of the water, and sponged a little bit of grassy area in a lighter green. Then I came in with Granny Apple Green and stamped the grass over it, because I wanted it to be a little darker where you could actually see the grass. Okay. And then for the sand, I used the pecan pie as my brown. And if you can tell, I did not want a real dark effect right down here. I just wanted just a little bit of brown. Okay. And then I came in with copper clay, which happens to be one of our new in colors that's going to be around for another year. And then I stamped the sand from the ocean front into copper clay, and I kind of did a little stamp off. That way it kind of looks like sand right there. Okay. Then you're going to let this dry a little bit, and then you have your background. Okay. And as you can see, this one's a little bit darker, but it's all the same. Okay, so then after you get this, you can set this aside. We have our background done. And I'm going to bring in a scrap piece of basic white. And we're going to stamp the beaver. And I'm going to stamp him 4 times because I have 4 samples to show you. And I'm only going to take this time to color 1. That way you're not watching me color 4 beavers right at this moment. But I want you to see how the coloring takes effect. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp my beaver. And I'm using Memento ink because you're using alcohol markers to color it. Anytime you use alcohol markers, you want to use Memento ink. we're just going to take this time to color one. Okay, so we have in our alcohol markers or our blends, we have what's called skin tones, and these are the skin tones or some of the skin tones. And these are the 4 colors I used to color my beaver. I used the darker one for the feet and around the edges to give it a dark shadowing effect. And then I used one of the lighter ones for the nose and the heart, the wood heart. And then I used another color for just the body. And as I do this, I will tell you what colors I'm using. Okay, so let's get started. I like to color these and make sure, like make a little swatch and kind of make sure that you're getting the right colors. And this one here happens to be the body color, I believe. And this one is the second. This is the dark one, and then this is the nose. Yes, I have it right. Okay, so this one is going to be the body, and I just used the brush stroke. On this one, you have a brush stroke and a fine tip, and I used the brush stroke because I colored the whole entire beaver this color. So I'm just going to come in, and I'm going to color. Let me move that. There we go. I'm just going to color this beaver. You don't have to color his hands because you're going to go back over with a dark color with his hands. But you're just going to color the body and let the marker glide its way across. You don't want to use the tip of the marker because then it will mess up your marker. So you want to use the side of the marker when you're coloring. Okay, and I came in and colored the inside because that inside of that heart is his body. Okay, and I also went in and colored his tail because I'm just going to use shadowing on this tail. Okay, and then the next thing is we're going to use this. I want to say this is the shadowing, yes. Okay, on this one, I kind of went in and I just kind of outlined where there's like fur lines. I just kind of went in and kind of touched on that a little bit to give it some kind of dimension. So see, like on here, on his arms, there's hair. And on his body, there's hair. There is no right or wrong way to color. It's just whatever you prefer and how you like to color your images. I kind of did a little bit of shadowing right there and across his forehead. Kind of colored his ears a little bit darker. And kind of came in with a little bit more dark right through here and right through here. I kind of went up a little bit on that. You're going to see how this comes together here in a second. Okay, so then the dark color is where I came in and I used my fine tip on this one because I did not want it to go crazy. But I just kind of went in and kind of just outlined this beaver with this dark. Okay, and kind of came down to the bottom and did the same with the bottom. And then I colored his feet the dark brown. I colored his hands the dark brown. And then I came over here with his tail and did the bottom part of his tail this dark color. Okay, and then we definitely want to come up here and do his cheeks a little bit in the dark zone. Okay. So then after you get the outline effect, then you're going to come back with that basic color that you started with and go back over it and color in all of these dark colors that you just added to it. And then it's going to blend all your colors together and make it look richer. And see how he's taking shape. So, okay, so there you have your beaver. And then I used the lighter color, and I came in and just colored his nose or his snout. And then you can also come in with a lighter color and color his heart that's going on there. Okay. So after you get him colored, then the thing that you need to do is die cut him out. And what we're going to do is, since we're going to die cut everything together, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the dam image also. And that way we can die cut everything together. So here is the beaver dam, and we're going to stamp it using pecan pie or copper. I can't remember exactly which one I used, but we're going to do trial and error, and I can tell you exactly which one I used after we stamp it. Okay, so let's put the dam on here, and we're stamping it on crumb cake. Let me move the beaver. We're stamping the dam on crumb cake. So here is the copper clay, and that looks a little red to me. So let's try this one. And that's the one I used. So I used pecan pie. Okay. So now we're ready to cut out our images. So let's bring in the cut and emboss machine. And if you have one of these machines, you know how to die cut, but if not, and you decide to get one, it comes with 5 different plates. This is your base plate, then here's your second plate, and then when you go to die cut, you're going to use the plates named number 3. There's 2 of them, and you're going to put the first 3 down, then put your image down, your stamped image down, and then you're going to put your die on top of that. Let me get my dies out. Okay, and line up your dies like you like them. And then I'm going to cut out this beaver real quick and get him where I can die cut him real fast. It's really great when you can get 2 images on your plate at the same time and cut at the same time, and that way you don't have to run through more than once if you don't have to. Okay, so I'm gonna put my beaver here and cut him out and get as close to the image as possible. You will have a little bit of a white border around when you go to die cut it out, and don't be alarmed if you do it wrong the first time or you get too much white on one side and not enough on the other, because you can always come in and trim it out if you need to. I tape my images down, that way it doesn't move when I move it through the machine. Sometimes you'll find that the die cuts or the images will try to move on you as if the table bounces or whatever, your images will do the same. So then after I bring this out, then you're ready to just punch out your dam and your beaver. Okay, and he looks pretty perfect. Okay. Okay, so let me move this out of my way. Okay. Now what I did with him is I didn't like the white showing up on my card. So what I did is you're gonna find in a lot of my cards, I like to shadow my images. And I use, this is a Copic marker. It's BG10, it's called Cool Shadow. And I always like to shadow my images, especially when I pop up my images. And you're gonna find that it adds a lot of dimension to your image, especially if you mount it on white. See how he kind of pops a little bit because he's on white, and the white background would kind of blend a little bit. And sometimes you don't want that big bold white edge around or border around your image. And it's sometimes easy to just go ahead and shadow or color that line around your image to match the background, and then you don't have that white border. So if you're stamping something and die cutting it and it's like in a field of green, like green flowers or whatever, feel free to color your edge green, and then that way you don't have that white edge. Sometimes in my cards, if I don't have white as an accent color on my card, then this is what I do, because I don't want white border around my stamped image. I find that it's kind of magnifies to that image more than you want. Okay, so now we bring back our background, and we're gonna stamp the saying across the top. And this one comes from that Rhino set that I showed you earlier. And this is called You're Stronger Than You Think. And we're going to bring this in. This is a rubber stamp set, this one is. And so sometimes if the rubber is too thick around the edges, you can trim this, and then that way you don't have to worry about ink getting on that part and messing up your card. And a lot of times I do that just because I don't want to, after all the work I've done on my card, come to find out when I stamp it, there's a line around my words, and that nothing makes me more mad than when that happens. So to be safe and to be clear of that problem, I like to go ahead and prevent that problem from happening. Okay, so now we're going to use copper clay. I wanted a color that was going to be standout-ish from my image. And I do have copper clay on the sand a little bit. Now some of it you're going to miss because of the okay, I almost stamped that upside down. It's a good thing I didn't. Okay, so you're just going to come in and you're going to stamp You're Stronger Than You Think across the top, like so. And now we're ready to build our card. So this card is a white base, basic white, and it is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. So this is a book, I call it a book fold, or actually a card fold. I'm using my bone folder to give me that nice crisp scored line, okay? And it's gonna fold this way. Okay, so this whole entire card base, everything is, or not card base, but the background, all of it is pop dotted. So, and what I mean by pop dot is our 3D dimensionals. And these are a foam adhesive. So, and I'm just going to put these all around. You don't want a sagging part on your card, so it's better to put too many and not enough, because if you send this to someone and they insist on, you know, keeping it over time, you don't want the card to cave in areas that there's not a pop dot. So I always tend to put more just for that reason. I don't want there to be a section that over time falls in. So as you can see, I put a dimension like almost on every 2 inches. Okay, so then after this, you can either use your fingers and take them off, You can also use our pick tool, and it has a little stabber on the end, and it will peel these off really quick. And I will use that in one of the upcoming videos so you can see it. And if you've seen my previous ones, you'll know I've used those before in the past as well. Okay, so you're just going to center this onto the front of your card. Like so. Then you're going to pop dot your beaver. And with alcohol markers, the markers will bleed through your cardstock, and that's fine. You're not going to see the back of your cardstock. Make sure, though, when you do a card, or if you're using alcohol markers, that you do creatively create a card where you don't see the back of your card or your stamped image, colored image. Okay, and there is the card that we did. So here is the one we just did, and here's the one that I did prior to this class. And it comes together really quick, and it looks, you know, like it's professionally done. So I hope you give this a try. I love doing the masked circle background, and you're going to see that in upcoming videos. But I hope you join me in the more advanced version of this card. Have a great day. Bye-bye.